Question 8-1. Why is managing change an integral part of every manager's job? Managing change is an integral part of every manager's job because organization must be prepared to act quickly to adapt to change. They must be prepared with new competitions, change in government regulation and laws, change in technology, and the fluctuation of labor markets and the economy. Therefore, when change occurs, manager must adapt or fail to them. There are 5 tips to manage change successfully. First is build and nurture relationship. You need to build and nurture your relationship between the external, internal, and customer so you gain their trust. Therefore, it will help the change run smoothly. Second is segment your audience group. Communication is imperative to successful change. It is ultimately depends on what type of change is going on within your organization. So, in most cases, you need to communicate different message to different audience group at different times. Next is be visible and accessible. You need to be visible and have a personality that is approachable. Fourth is follow through. You need to say what you mean what you say, and do what you say. Last is do the hard work.
Question 2. Contrast the clean waters and wet water rapids metaphors of change. Which of these would you use to describe your current life? Why is that your choice? Clean water stands for an organization like a ship in an ocean which is sailing very cleanly and comfortably into the sea. The ship's captain and crew, employer and employees very well know where they have to exactly go and continue with their journey, as they have been on the route several times before. Occasional storm or brief distraction creates problems, but they too get solved easily. Wet water rapid stands for an organization like a raft which is navigating in raging water. The people in the raft are unknown to each and have never walked together before. These people do not know the final destination of their journey and are unknown of the water in which the raft is navigating. In this continuous change is necessary so that people get accustomed to each other and start walking. As you can imagine, most students will choose the wet water metaphor to describe the current life. Because we are in a world with uncertainty and opportunities, for the students, they have to fulfill a task in the variable college curriculum. Many of today's managers face constant challenge bordering on chaos. For example, managers' calls for influencing employees often do challenge in some way, and control may require the use of new methods or techniques to ensure the object is met.
Question 8.3. Describe Lewin's 3-step change process. How is it different from the change process needed in the whitewater rapids metaphor of change? Lewin's 3-step change process is unfreezing, changing, and freezing. The first step of changing process is unfreezing. Before an organization wants to implement new changes, the company needs to unfreeze the status quo or the current state. Status quo can be considered as an equilibrium state. An organization can increase driving forces or decrease restraining forces, or using these both approaches in this state. Next step is changing. After the unfreezing is done, the company can start to implement the changes. This is when the changes become real. The company needs to be fully prepared to perform the changes. And the last step of Lewin's 3-step change process is freezing. New changes or situations need to be refrozen so it can be sustained for a long period of time. Or else, there is a high possibility that the changes won't stay long. The objective of refreezing is to stabilize the new situation by balancing the driving and restraining forces. Lewin's 3-step change process is the prevailing model for handling change in calm water metaphors. It describes and treats change as a break in equilibrium state, as if a large ship making a predictable trip across a calm sea and experiencing occasional storms. Meanwhile, whitewater rapids metaphor acknowledges that the environment is uncertain and dynamic. There is no such thing as calm water. Managers need to face constant forces in the environment and they need to plan organizational changes.
Question number 4. How are opportunities, constraints, and demands related to stress? Give example of each. So, stress is a response to anxiety over intense demand, constraint, or opportunities. This is the example of what causing the stress. The first one is role in the organization. There are role conflict, which is conflicting job demands, maybe too many roles or multiple supervisor or manager. Second one is uncertain job expectation or role ambiguity. This is the lack of clarity about responsibilities and expectation. The third one is level of responsibility. And there are from the career development. The first one is under or over promotion. The second one is job security, insecurity. It is fear or redundancy either from economy or lack of tasks or work to do. The third one is lack of career development opportunities, growth, or advancement. And the fourth one is overall job satisfaction.
Question 5. Organizations typically have limits to how much change they can absorb. As a manager, what signs would you look for that might suggest your organization has exceeds its capacity to change? Most plans that managers develop require changes. When managers organize and delegate tasks, they often require employees to make some changes in the regular routine. Things that an organization may have exceed its capacity to change include an increasing level of resistance to change. If changes are negatively impacting employee work performance and behavior, the manager may discern that the organization has exceeded its capacity to change.
Question number 6. Every manager deals with change. Provide an example to illustrate this point. In this context, how do middle managers plan organizational development? Every manager deals with change. Provide an example to illustrate this point. The first one, when a company shifts its resource to enter a new line of business. The second one, when a company makes productivity improvement in order to reduce costs. And the last one is a company that wishes to implement more participative decision making might need to change its hierarchical structure. How do middle managers plan organizational development? Any organizational activity that assists with implementing planned change can be viewed as an OD technique. The more popular OD effort in organization rely heavily on group interaction and cooperation and include: the first one is a survey feedback. Survey feedback is a method of assessing employees' attitude toward and perception of change. And the second one is process consultation. Process consultation is using outside consultant to assess organizational processes such as workflow, informal intra-unit relationship, and formal communication channels. The third one is a team building, using activities to help work groups set goals, develop positive interpersonal relationship, and clarify the roles and responsibility of each team member. And the fourth one is intergroup development, is an activity that attempts to make several work groups more cohesive.
8.7. What can influence innovation in an organization? There are 3 variables that can influence innovation in an organization, also known as innovation variable. The first variable is the structural variable. So how do structural variables affect innovation? Firstly, organic type structure. This structure is low in formalization, centralization, and work specialization. So, it facilitates the flexibility and sharing of ideas that are critical to innovation. Number 2, abundance of resources. If an organization has enough resources, they can afford innovation and failures. Next, frequent communication. Interaction and communication between organizational units facilitates flexibility and sharing of ideas. Interaction across departmental lines are widely used in innovative organizations. Lastly, work and non-work support. One's creativity can be enhanced with beneficial support. Beneficial kind of support include encouragement, open communication, readiness to listen, and useful feedback can encourage employees' creativity. The second variable is cultural variable. Here are the few ways how cultural variables can promote innovation in an organization. Tolerance of the impractical. Everyone in the organization needs to consider all the impractical. This is because what at first seems impractical might lead to innovative solutions. Next, tolerance of conflict. Diversity of opinions is encouraged and everyone in the organization needs to be considerate with each other. Furthermore, tolerance of risk. Managers need to encourage their employees not to be afraid of making mistakes and treat mistakes as learning opportunities. In addition, managers need to provide positive feedback. They need to encourage, give positive feedback, and constantly support the employees' idea so they can feel that their creative ideas receive attention.
Question 8-8. Research information on how to be a more creative person. These are 6 ways to be more creative. First is start with morning free write. According to study from Harvard Business School Professor Teresa Amabile, regular workplace journaling allows you to rediscover your perspective and become more productive. So, instead of jumping right into your projects when you get into the office, block off 10 minutes for a digital detox and grab a notebook and paper to just write. Second is connect with creative people. When you've hit a wall with your own ideas, it may be time to tap into the creativity of others. Surround yourself with people with whom you can share and get feedback on your ideas and opinion. Next is travel to other places. It is important to keep your mind stimulated by new sight, sound, taste, smell, and experiences. Expose yourself to an entirely different point of view through a new culture experience. Fourth is brainstorm when you exercise. If you feel like working your brain hard and still coming out empty-handed, try to push yourself physically for 30 minutes or so. Research shows that exercise can be linked to more creative thinking. Next is listen to music when you work. Listening to music can help you focus on whatever task you're currently doing. It can also put you in a better mood and even calm your nerve if you're feeling anxious. Last is channel your inner child. Since children are willing to go in any direction with their creativity, they don't hold back. Channel this mentality, especially when it comes to taking a completely different direction with your work.